guys, welcome back to All Ride. It's December and summer down here in the Western Cape, so in the spirit of having some fun, today we're going to teach you how to wheelie. Now some of you may or may not know how to do this, so today Chris is going to show you the skills and techniques you need to be able to either start from scratch or master the skills you already have. Either way, it's time to up your game.
So as you can see, learning to wheelie is just not a fun thing, it's a practical thing as well, and we're going to show you how you can learn how to wheelie. When you're starting to learn how to wheelie, it's best to actually look at doing something on a start uphill, start incline. So anything around about 15% or 15 degrees is really what you need to start at. Okay, the second thing about starting to wheelie is you need to look at where your pedal stroke is. It's best to start with your pedal stroke when your crank is right at the top and your pedal is at the top of its full circle, because then you get a full pedal stroke in while you're actually pedaling off the ground. Okay, if you start halfway, you only get half a pedal, it's harder to lift that front wheel off the ground. So definitely start with the pedal all the way at the top. The third thing you need to look at when starting to wheelie is actually the gear that you're in. So you need to be in a relatively easier gear, because you're going up a hill. Rather be in the easiest, the second or the third, depending on how steep the hill is. So choose a gear that you think is going to work the best. The more you do it, the more you'll know what gear to choose. The fourth thing about learning to wheelie is learning to control your brake while your front wheel's in the air. So if you ever feel you're going to flip over backwards, you've got to use your back brake, which brings the front wheel back down again. So if you look at it and you're about to flip over backwards, because you've got this forward momentum, as you pull the back brake, your back wheel stops turning and your momentum will bring the front wheel back down again. And that's how you control it so you don't flip over backwards while you're wheeling, is with your back brake. So the fifth thing about learning to wheelie is that you now, because your front wheel's in the air, it's difficult to actually balance yourself with your front, with your hands anymore. You've got to go back to using your hips to balance the front wheel. So it's the opposite way now. So if you're going to fall over to the right, you actually got to point your hips to the left, which brings the bike back to the left again. And sometimes it's about rolling your feet on the pedals. So ideally, if you've got flat pedals, especially when you're starting out again, try and use flat pedals rather than clips at this stage. Okay, so here's the incline. I'm going to show you how to do it. Just also, sometimes it's better to have a bit of a lower seat, so put your seat down just a little bit. Doesn't have to be all the way down, just a little bit. Quick release. If you haven't got to drop a seat post, just put it a little bit down. And remember, when you start off, nice, we've chosen our gear already. We're going to pedal a few strokes first and then watch my second stroke as we go. Okay, so as we get round to the top, we lift the front wheel.
So there you have it, folks, another episode of Up Your Game in the bag. Make sure you check out the others if you haven't already. They are all up in the playlist, so just click the card up here. And then other than that, wheelies are a heck of a lot of fun, but just you got to be patient with yourself and just be cautious while learning. But once you've got them mastered, you'll see you're using them on the ups, the downs and the flats. Chris, big up to you again. Thanks for having us out here. Guys, the next Up Your Game will be airing in January 2019, so we'll see you then. But other than that, keep subscribed to the channel and stay tuned for all the radness happening in the weeks to come.